Okay, my friends, let's find our way. If you're able to step away from your computer or your phone, wherever you're working remotely today, and join me in a comfortable position. I really love when you can get down on the floor. This is a great place to ground, especially if you are on a lower level. But just getting down on the floor can help you relax and release, even if you're on a high floor of a condo or apartment building. Once you've arrived, you'll notice I just have my little pen and notebook near me today. And my setup is nothing fancy. It's a rug. I've been using this rug lately on top of a couch cushion. It's soft. That's the most important thing, is that you get really cozy. So once you arrive, let's move around just a little bit so you can settle in deeply today. Rolling through the shoulders in both directions if you're able to. And then dropping your chin towards your chest, lengthening through the back body. Switch your shoulder rolls if you went all one way. Eyes back forward towards me. Bring a little smile to the corners of your mouth. Soften shoulders. Turn your palms up and possibly even let your arms hang really heavy so your shoulders are long from your earlobes. And look over your right shoulder, stretching out your neck. Drop your chin towards your right collarbone, stretching out a little deeper into your neck. And you're welcome to move any way that feels good to get your fidgets out. Look forward, but I'll just take you through these two neck stretches and then we'll begin. Eyes to the left, right over your left shoulder. So you feel that you're seated really tall here. Chin tucks towards your left collarbone. Try to sit up tall through the back of your earlobes, the back of your ribs, so your spine is very long, but your neck is relaxing. Come on back forward with your eyes, and let's take 3 big breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, with arms rising up and overhead. Let's see if we can get rid of some tension we may have in our bodies. Inhale. Lift a little longer, extra sip at the top. Exhale. Open mouth like a big sigh. Maybe sweep your arms a different way. Forward and up. Exhale, big sigh. One more time. Possibly float them behind you like you're spreading wings. Inhale. And drop them a different way. Exhale. Getting situated into our seat. If you're feeling a bit drowsy today, we can energize by turning our palms up. And we have a little mudra practice in the beginning. So I do ask that even if you're feeling a bit overstimulated and like to practice with your palms down, just for a moment, turn your palms up with me. I'm going to show you in the air our mudra. It's called the prana mudra. First 2 fingers are extended, and then the tips of our ring and pinky finger are pressing the little fingertip pads together. First 2 fingers extended, middle and index, and then the thumb, ring, and pinky pads are pressing together. Then we can softly bring those anywhere. They can rest at your sides. If you're seated like me, cross-legged, they could rest on your thighs or even in towards your belly, whatever feels good. Let's lift up long through the tops of our heads, finding an erect spine, but not rigid or stiff. Tuck your chin towards your neck, releasing tension, but lengthening through the back body. And then if you feel very safe in your spine, I always encourage us to shut our windows to the world. Close your eyelids, block out lights, stimulation, textures, and colors. You can't completely close, that's okay. Do what I do. I look down the bridge of my nose, and you want to find a really still spot on the floor in front of you. Soften your eyes to little slits so things become blurry and unfocused. And that will allow you to really drop in. Take a big, beautiful breath in through your nose. And another sigh may feel really good. It might feel appropriate the entire practice. Breathing out anyway, through nostrils or through an open mouth. And as we come into our body awareness, our posture, how we're seated, how we're resting, let's also notice where and how our breaths are flowing. Feeling it at the tip of our nostrils. This could be something as simple as you using words, thinking in and out. a wonderful way to help us stay focused on the breath. If you're feeling it a bit lower in your body, you might notice a rise and a fall in your chest, using those words as you inhale and exhale. The words are soft, mentally saying them like a whisper to help us drop into relaxation this morning. Softening through your belly. So much in life tends to have us gripped inwards. We may have something tight on that causes us to really pull our belly in. So as much as possible, soften through your navel so you can attempt to fill your belly with some really beautiful breaths. And if that's where you're feeling it, your words as you breathe in and out to help you focus may be open and release. This mudra, this formation in our hands and our fingertips to help us stay focused and gather energy is known as our prana mudra. Prana is more than just energy. In yogic theory, prana is thought to be a universal life force that flows through and connects all living things. So you can see how important prana is to us, and it's my favorite mudra. Prana mudra is a web through which our energy flows. Our prana is cleansed, and then we exchange it with the world. This mudra is thought to tap into the energy, our prana. It stimulates your root chakra and energizes your body. So as we practice today, feel free to keep this prana mudra. I recommend trying for 15 minutes. That's about half of our meditation if it's possible for you. If it gets uncomfortable, it's fine to let it go. And you can also turn your palms down if that feels more comfortable for you today. Let's take another big breath in. And hopefully through this connection of our mudra, we feel surges, tingles, or glimpses of prana, of energy moving through our bodies. Our meditative technique that I would like to lead you through today is called RAIN. It's an approach that comes from a PhD named Tara Brach. And her book that I would highly recommend, where I learned this strategy, is called Radical Compassion. Doesn't that sound enticing? Radical compassion. I love that. RAIN stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. I promise I'll lead you through all of those components, but let's take another moment to focus on our breath. Setting aside anything that brought us here today, all of the moments and activities that led up to our gathering. Setting aside any chores or to-do lists, any attempts at controlling the future. Begin to let go as you connect with your breath. And every time we have a breath-centered meditation, we discuss how our thoughts come and go, and that is to be expected. That is completely normal. But sometimes it's difficult for us to wrangle our thoughts. You'll hear me say, just let them float on by like a cloud in the sky. It's not so easy sometimes, is it? Some of us have very traumatic thoughts or very difficult emotions that need a lot of time to process and just cannot be pushed away, which is why I'd like to introduce the RAIN approach today. So as we begin and we have some thoughts coming through our minds, let's use the first letter of RAIN and recognize them. Recognize what is going on. We are consciously acknowledging in any given moment, in our meditation or throughout the rest of our day, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that are affecting us. So during this first step, and this is why you have your pen and paper if you'd like to jot anything down, we get into the habit of putting words to thoughts and feelings as they're happening. So let's say it's a thought from our social life. It could be something that sounds like, I am worrying that my friends don't like me because they keep turning down my invitation to gather. Putting thoughts to the words that are feeling coming through as sensations or our thoughts. If it's work related, something that's coming through mentally, it could sound like, I'm feeling like a failure after getting feedback on my most recent presentation. And this would be a great thing to jot down so you don't have to worry about retaining it. You have recognized it. And I understand that this can be very challenging, given that sometimes emotions feel like physical, difficult to label sensations. They don't present themselves as words and phrases. We will definitely get better with practice in this approach, I promise. So today, if you can't come up with words to label the thoughts, the sensations, and the emotions, that's okay. It's wonderful that you're noticing them. You are being present enough to notice that your breath practice was interrupted by some thoughts. Let's return to that beautiful breath that flows through us, to our prana mudra if you still have it, to our life force, our energy. In RAIN, the A stands for allow. I encourage you to allow whatever you are experiencing to just be, just as it is. Everything is perfect in this moment as it should be. Instead of telling yourself how you should be feeling, we're going to focus on what we are feeling. So we're not trying to control anything. We're just letting whatever comes and go. And sometimes we feel neutral in a practice. That's okay too. If you're not experiencing anything, don't try to conjure something up. Just breathe and be. Allowing means letting all of our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, our sensations, whatever we're recognizing, to simply be. Allowing all of these to exist without immediately trying to push them away, to change them, to control them, or to judge them. I like to think of it as being curious, as being open-minded, like a beginner or like a child, just so curious to what is coming up. And sometimes if we have a particularly negative surge through our bodies, it might feel like the right call to not engage with that inner monologue, especially if we feel like we're being judgmental. Oftentimes, though, if we try not to engage, it just shoves all of these feelings, these emotions, the trauma, whatever we're experiencing down deeper. As we focus on allowing, try to give yourself a moment to really feel your feelings. Allow your thoughts to come in without jumping to correct them, to judge yourself, even if it feels really raw and uncomfortable. This is the practice. Reconnect with your breath, soften. When we do this hard work, it can bring tension into our faces. If something particularly uncomfortable arises, you may notice a gritting through your jaw, a squinching of your eyes or your forehead or your brows. And again, presence is key. We don't judge ourselves for it. We notice and we attempt to release, maybe just a little tiny bit. So we allow all this to happen by doing exactly what you're doing right now, simply pausing with the intention to relax resistance and let our experience be just as it is. Allowing our thoughts, our emotions, and our body sensations simply to be. That doesn't mean that we have to agree with them or embrace them or love them. It just means that we're honestly acknowledging the presence of them. My friends, when you can work on your A in rain, when you can allow, you're going to create this beautiful space that enables us to see more deeply into our own being, which in turn will awaken our caring and help us make wiser choices in life. So this practice is very powerful right here and right now, but so much bigger than that. Reconnect with your breath. The I in our rain, the letter I, stands for investigate. Investigating sounds fun, doesn't it? It's calling on our natural sense of curiosity, the desire to know the truth, and direct a more focused attention to our present experience. We've recognized what's coming up. We've allowed it, but now we get to investigate. And when we do, we're going to investigate with kindness, with non-judgmental compassion. So you have to fill in your own blanks, but it would start with something like, I'm probably feeling this way because. I'm probably feeling this way because. During our first step, the recognized step, our thoughts and feelings can seem really obvious. But when we take some time to intentionally investigate, we could reveal something that we did not know yet. Or we can certainly deepen our understanding of ourselves. So it's a really crucial step to pause. Take the time to be curious. Ask yourself, what is happening inside of me? Why do I feel this way? What might this emotion be trying to tell me? What does it feel like physically when this arises? How am I experiencing it in my body? What does this feeling want from me? Or what am I believing? Beautiful, open-ended, investigative questions. And again, it's fine if you're feeling neutrality. You're just sitting here relaxing and breathing. Great, great. And if we're feeling things that are too complicated to sort out today, that's okay as well. Presence is key. But potentially, what started out as, I'm upset with myself for not being productive today, could turn into something like I'm frustrated and stressed out because I have a lot to do, but I need to remind myself that I didn't get a great night's sleep last night and I haven't stopped for a snack or an early lunch yet. So what we begin to notice is that we've investigated a little further and we've developed this sense of self-compassion from what we recognized earlier and allowed. What a beautiful part of the process. This can feel heavy. This work is not easy. Retake the time to connect with your breath, please. Soften the edges. Lengthen, widen your breath. Try to make it like a whisper. And as we complete our rain strategy, our last letter is N. N stands for nurture. That's the best one because we just get to rest in our natural awareness. Rest in not identifying with the experience, knowing that you are more then your thoughts and feelings and our sense of who we are is not fused with any limiting emotions, sensations, or stories that we're conjuring up as we've slowed down. It's really important to remind yourself of this. Too often we can focus on what our thoughts and feelings mean about us. For example, if we feel really angry, or maybe we can't label it angry, maybe we feel a burning or a heat in the pit of our belly, we can be quick to feel really guilty about this sensation or this emotion because we don't want to feel like a cranky, crazy person. If we alternatively feel insecure or self-loathing, we may rationalize that these feelings must be true and that we deserve to feel this way. So this step in the process, the N for nurture, helps us to untangle our feelings and our thoughts from our sense of self-worth and our identity. We start making it a little easier to reach compassionate conclusions. Reconnecting with your breath. Taking time at any point in this process to jot something down if it came to your mind and it feels really important. You don't want to let that go, or you want to restart the process and revisit this area. What matters most when we practice our RAIN technique together is that once we have investigated and connected to whatever is inside of us, even if it's just chaos or turmoil, it's busyness, whether it's suffering, that we respond by offering care and compassion to our own hearts. The intention is to awaken self-love and compassion. And when that attention is sincere, the smallest little gesture, even if it initially feels awkward, will serve you really well. RAIN is a practice for life. We meet our doubts, our fears, whatever is arising, with a healing presence. And as we do, we can decondition old habits, limiting self-beliefs, anything that is imprisoning our heart. Over time, the RAIN technique can help us move from inner turmoil, from uncertainty into trust. Trust in yourself that you have the tools. Trust in the universe. Let's together, after this beautiful, very strong and powerful practice, inhale together, hopefully a feeling of confident, clear knowing. And as you exhale, you may repeat or think, I divert my attention and my eyes off of what I just studied, into my heart and into my breath, remembering that we are not tethered to, we are not attached to those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions, those sensations. They do not define us. Let's breathe in again. And as you exhale softly, trying to let go of needing to have full control over your future, allow yourself to just be, to take the next inspired step. These are such important affirmations that I encourage you to repeat them out loud if you feel comfortable. I am worthy. Worthy of living. Worthy of being seen. I trust who I am. I trust what I have to contribute to the world. I embody my strengths and I believe in who I am. To finish our affirmation, bring your hands to your heart center. Try to connect your thumbs to your heartbeat. Lift your heart up and tuck your chin to your chest in a sign of gratitude for the commitment to your health and wellness, to your practice today. And the most important affirmation of them all, I am a magnificent, extraordinary human being. But feel free to substitute your own words if they resonate with you better. Repeat these affirmations and this meditative process as often as you can to program new pathways of self-belief into your brain. Notice an energy shift from your work, your prana mudra, your breath connection, beginning at the center of your being, and be guided forth today from this beautiful, powerful energy source. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. The light in me honors, is inspired by, and grateful for your light. Namaste, my friends.